Basic laser setup. We'll start with the contents of the box. Laser unit, 3 laser safety glasses specific to this wavelength. Laser handpiece, autoclavable, any kind of sterilizer. Cleaving ceramic scissors, keys, laser fiber, power supply cord, foot pedal plug, micro stripper for the fiber, micro stripper tools for changing the blades. This is a interlock required by FDA, which we won't use. Tips, cannula tips, which are cold sterilized or disposable, whichever you like. Comes with 25. Articulating paper for activating the tip, which we'll get to. You can also use a Sharpie. Foot pedal plug into the foot pedal, into the machine right here. Simple plug. Power supply unit, cord into here, power supply cord into the unit right here. All lasers, FDA requirement, have to have a key. Insert it at the 9 o'clock position, turn it to the 12 o'clock position. It has to stay in the laser. We'll turn on the laser like so. Installation of the fiber. Unwrap it and straighten it out. If you crimp it, you're going to break it. The fiber comes with a cap, protective cap, which you're going to want to take off and save, and a cap for the port lens. We take the fiber, fit it on, screw it on, finger tight. Now we're going to want to wrap this fiber around the top plate. Counterclockwise, you're going to hear little clicks. That holds the fiber in place. We want this fiber to extend out the back a good 2 to 3 inches like this. If we crimped it real tight, it's going to break it. Now we want to unwrap enough of this fiber to reach our patient. I'm going to show you how to use the micro stripper. You'll notice there's a blue protective jacket. The center, that's the actual fiber. In between each patient, your staff is going to take the ceramic bladed scissors, and they are in a perpendicular cut, shear off about 2 millimeters. Now eventually we're going to need some fiber extended outside the jacket. The stripper, micro stripper, these are the blades, little channel. We're going to extend this in. We're going to strip off approximately 1 inch. It doesn't have to be exact. We're going to pinch it down, and then you give it a hard tug. For the handpiece, we're going to snug on a plastic tip. Do not take off this nut, because inside the nut there's a little small white pressure fitting that for sure is going to get lost in the office. So we're going to loosen this. We're going to feed the fiber through until we have approximately 5 to 6 millimeters extending beyond the tip, and then tighten it down in the handpiece holder like so. We turn on the machine, rocker switch right here. Press it on in the front. That's an aiming beam. It's not laser energy until you put the foot pedal down. It's just an aiming beam. You can adjust the intensity of that aiming beam by pressing the beam button, and you can go down. You can turn it all the way off. Some doctors are wearing loops. They don't like that because it's too bright. You can turn it up. Now, continuous wave or pulse mode. If we're going to do a procedure with topical only, like a TAC 20, we recommend the pulse mode. In between each pulse, the tissue has time to cool. If we're going to give an injection, or if it's really tough fibrous tissue. For normal tissue, we're going to set the laser at 1.0 to 1.2. Fibrous tissue, we're going to go we're going to start at 1.4. We're going to activate the tip. Activating the tip, we want it set at 1 watt. Doesn't matter if it's continuous or pulsed. Take a piece of articulating paper, which we furnish, or a Sharpie, an ordinary Sharpie. We're going to actually touch the paper. It doesn't matter if you touch it before you put the foot pedal down or after, but we're going to touch it, and we're going to burn some ink on the end of that fiber tip. That activates it. If you're going to cut tissue, you have to do this. Now, sometimes in a longer procedure, you may stop and recarbonize. Now, it will melt the paper before you touch it. That doesn't do you any good. You have to touch it. There are no contraindications for this laser. Nothing harmful, doesn't affect pregnancy, pacemakers, etc. No maintenance at all. There's a 3-year warranty. Anything goes wrong, you call me. Also, to clean the machine, spray it with whatever disinfectant you like. Wipe down the fiber, wipe this down, cold sterilize the tip, wipe down, or put this in the sterilizer and wipe the fiber. That's it. Now, I'm going to demonstrate just laser tissue interaction. Now, this apple is a little bit tougher than human tissue, so I'm actually going to go to 1.5. So, I'm going to actually touch the tissue. Slow and smooth. Not like a blade where we apply pressure and do it in one pass. We're going to vaporize a cell layer at a time till we get down to our desired depth. Now remember, we can touch tooth, metal, bone, etc. Uncover implants. In the office, we'll have suction to collect that plume, and a damp 2x2 to wipe off any tissue that might glob on the top. Again, nice and smooth. The slower you move it, the faster it's going to cut. What we don't want is black char. If we've got char, it doesn't hurt the patient, but we can't laser through char. And if you have to go over an incision several times, we'd have to stop, wipe off the black char. So the idea is to use the least amount of power to get the job done. In 2012, we switched from traditional screw-in connections to plug connections. Through our years of experience, we found that moving the laser about in the office, the cables would sometimes become frayed at the connections. When that would happen, you'd have to send your laser into us. To avoid that problem, we switched to plug cables. This is a simple RCA plug, a cable, fits in the back of the laser here. The other end fits into your foot pedal. It comes with 2 of these cables. These cables can wear out. If you need to replace a cable, they're very inexpensive, cost maybe $1.50 at a hardware store. This is your power connection. Sometimes, moving it about the office, this connection can become loose. If that does happen, loop your cable around into this white clip to hold it snug in place. In between each patient, we're going to change the tip, clean the handpiece. Take these scissors, shear off about 2 millimeters, wipe it down, clean it, fresh tip, extend it out, tighten it down, ready for the next patient. And like I mentioned earlier, after about 10 or 12 cleaves, it's time to strip off another end. If you're going to transport this laser, you're going to want to put the cap back in the port in the back of the laser, like I mentioned, right here where the fiber. And you're going to want to put this on the fiber. And we want to disconnect it, like so. We don't have to unwrap it, but we can disconnect it, put this on, and that's how we'll move it.